All right, hi, my name's Tony. I'm originally from Toronto, but I moved to Whitby when I was really young, probably at about 5 or 6 years old. We had a really good family. I have 3 siblings, 3 sisters, and I now actually have a half brother as well. That came later. I have to say that, I was pretty taken well care of as a child. Had a pretty good childhood up until about age 10. At that age, my father unfortunately fell into cocaine usage, and it tore our family apart. Really destroyed our family, split us all up. We had to sell the house, and of course, going through that, I got myself into a lot of trouble with the police, with fights. I got into knife fights. I got into fights all over the place. And, not being the biggest guy, I got picked on quite a bit. So I learned to be tough. I learned to fight back. And I ended up doing really well for myself later on, though. I moved out to Toronto when I got older. And I left my home. I got on my own when I was probably about 16. Moved to the city. Lived in the city till I was about 29 or 30. I was almost married once. Got engaged a second time. That one, I broke it off myself. And Toronto was a good time for me. I worked for Bell. I made a lot of money there, did really well. And ended up coming back to Oshawa. I got a job within the family of GM. I worked for Lear, making the seats for the GM trucks. I still have that job. But unfortunately, because of my father's addiction, I fell into addiction myself. So that's my problem that I have and that I've been struggling with and trying to conquer for a very, very long time. Being 49 and being addicted since I was about 19. Sorry. So 30 years, yeah, it's a long time. It's a really long time. But it did teach me one thing, and that was to be tough. And people need to care about one another more than another. And we're losing that. I really feel the world is losing that. But there's still good people out there. I'm a firm believer in it, so. And I know we all have a purpose to be here. There's a reason for everybody to be here. You have to understand that I'm repressing 20 to 30 years. When I talk about this stuff, that's how long I've been holding that in.
Coordinator zone 1. Coordinator zone 1.
Because my dad was very abusive to us. He would beat us, he would hurt us, he would threaten us with guns. Came from a really bad family when he got addicted. He turned into a completely different person. Completely different. But when he passed away, I forgave him. Because nobody wants to be an addict. We don't wake up and say, hey, I want to be an addict when I grow up. No. Nobody wants that. Nobody. It's nobody's life to live. And I'm sure he didn't want it. But I blamed him for a long time. A really long time I blamed him for all my problems. Until I grew up and realized, you know what? I caused my own problems. I made my own decisions in life. We all do. So, you just have to accept responsibility sometimes for what you're doing with yourself and get on your feet and put one foot in front of the other and keep moving forward. Because every day that you wake up, you're waking up to a new day. You're not falling asleep forever. So at least I can say today, now, when I get up, yeah, I might not have a place to live, But for some reason, I'm finding places like this. I'm finding places like, Duo. I'm finding Cornerstone. I'm finding a roof over my head so I'm not freezing. I think I only spent 2 nights in 10 years of not having a home. About 10 years. I was going to work when I was at Cornerstone. I was still working over at Lear when I was at Cornerstone. I was waking up at 5 a.m. and going and doing my 10-hour shift or whatever it is they have over there. 6:30 to 2:30, 8 hours. Yeah. So I did that for quite a while, and I tried to keep it hidden because I was embarrassed. I didn't want them to know I was homeless. And they did find out, and I was pretty discriminated against for it. Yeah. I was. I mean, everybody looked at me differently all of a sudden. And I thought to myself, why? Like, I'm working the same just as you guys are. I'm doing the same work, working maybe even harder than you guys are. I ended up being a team leader, and I didn't have a home to live in, and nobody knew about it. And they found out, and then all of a sudden, hey, things changed. It's like, what the heck happened there? So yeah, I felt discrimination against it. But when you have charities like these guys and the other charities in town, and all the grassroots charities that we have, it's a good feeling. It is. I can say that. So that's what I guess I can be happy for, is that there's people out there that still do give a damn. And it makes me feel better, because they don't actually leave you out in the cold. So I guess that's all I got to say. I can't really talk anymore about it.